Instagram is taking away your likes. Well, not exactly, but they're hiding it. Joe's on everyone. My name is Martin Wong and I am a photographer. It is 3 in the morning. I'm super tired. I have a cosplay contest to host in the morning, and I was actually recording a video about how much you should charge for your work, but this announcement really got my attention and I really want to share my ideas on it, and hopefully, you can join in on the conversation. So on Friday, Instagram has announced that they're going to hide the like count for USA users. They have experienced this in different countries, so it's not really a completely new concept. The new change will hide the like count for the public, but the person who made the post will still able to see the like count on their own post. At the time of me recording this video, which is 3 in the morning, the change hasn't implemented yet. So I don't really know how it is like or what are some of the long-term effects, but I do have a few predictions. Now, since I am a content creator, a lot of my opinions are on the content creator side. But before we get to that, let's talk about how it is like for the general Instagram users. I don't think this would have an impact, if any, for the general user, those who just browse Instagram or those who rarely post. As far as I know, this shouldn't change the algorithm. So unless the user are liking things based on the like count, they shouldn't notice a difference. And if the user doesn't really post content, then it really doesn't affect them. Now let's talk about content creators. As a content creator whose main social media platform is Instagram, I have a lot of opinions and experience with Instagram itself. When I talk about content creators in this context, I am talking about people who rely on social media to make a living. Those who need sponsorships or clients to keep food on their plate. Making or preparing content is what content creators do every single day. It is a job because they influence on consumers' purchase habits. Jeffree Star is a great example of a content creator who are making millions of dollars selling cosmetic products. And you have content creators at each level, from small ones to big ones. The reason for the rise of content creator is because more and more people are using free social media platforms like Instagram than ever before. And people trust content creators a lot more than they would trust traditional ads like a billboard. To me, likes, comments, views, or follower count, those are just KPIs, key performance indicator for content creators to gauge how they're performing. It is very similar to how a salesperson would measure their success by the numbers of sales that they made that year, or how a company will use annual net profit to measure their growth. And companies also use these KPIs to decide who they want to work with or who they want to sponsor. So to me, telling content creators not to care for this metrics is very irresponsible, especially if this is their full-time job. Now let's talk about the short-term effect. In the short term, I don't think it will make a difference for content creators, assuming that people don't change their consuming habits based on the like count. One thing that you might see is that content creators will start asking their audience to comment on their posts, since now that is the only way to show engagement to the public. Now let's talk about the long-term effects. In the long run, I think this would create a problem for both Instagram and content creators. There are many social media platforms created before Instagram and after Instagram, and content creators always just flock to the ones that will give them the most engagement. We even see how Instagram replaced Facebook because Facebook pages are not getting as much engagement as they used to. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It might be something that Facebook did on purpose, so that Facebook is more for close friends and families, and Instagram is more for general social media consumptions. I'm not sure if this is true for everyone, but personally, I am seeing way fewer Facebook pages post than I did maybe 5 years ago. So how does this pose a problem for Instagram? Well, content creators will just flock to another platform that will give them more engagement, and their followers will follow them to those platforms. I don't think Instagram did this on purpose just to get content creators, but it is possible they did it so that companies will spend more money on Instagram ads rather than spending on content creators, since now there's one less metric for them to see. Well, you might say content creators can still send their information about their posts to company to prove their engagement. Yes, that is true, but companies are less likely going to reach out to content creators to ask for those informations unless they're very serious about hiring them. You know, it's kind of like when you go to a store and they don't have a price tag on their items. You won't really ask the salesperson about the price unless you are seriously considering buying that one item. And oftentimes the person that is in charge of influencer marketing needs to explain to their boss why they're spending so much money on influencers or how they're spending it. This change is now going to make it more difficult for them to do so. So the type of content creators that will be hurt the most from this change are gonna be the one that who are just starting out, the newcomers. Since their follower counts are so much smaller than established influencers, they're going to have a hard time showing a demand for their content, and they would have to actively reach out to companies to get a sponsorship. I have a lot of friends or friends of friends celebrating this change, especially the ones who are in the gaming industry, but most of them are not content creators who rely on Instagram to make a living. So to give them a more comparative perspective, I have asked them what if Twitch or any streaming platform hide the number of viewers on their stream, and most of them actually said they do not want that. Some have even told me that viewer count on their stream is what attracts more people to join their stream. So take that into consideration next time you have this discussion. Overall, I don't know if Instagram made this change because they wanted to make a better social media platforms, or if they want company to spend more money on Instagram ads instead of on content creators. But either way, I don't believe this is the right solution. And we have seen this on most social media platforms. Content creators will just go to the platforms that is free, has more features, and has more engagement because that will give them more money. Now, maybe, just maybe, this could be great for people who are always comparing their like count versus someone else's like count. But I don't see how this is better for the platform's longevity or for content creators who are making free content for a living. So yeah, that is my view on this new change. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I need to get some rest. So, see ya. Because on consumers purchasing habit. I always chicken out. I could have just go for it. There you go, got it. I'm getting better and better. Yeah, I'm more energetic in the scene and talking like this. I'm gonna be dying just a little bit. Did I say USA in that one line? Hopefully I did.